Guys, let me show you how to. We're going to take up these jeans in the waist because they're too big. Now, this is a Singer heavy-duty sewing machine, as you can see. But you still need to thin these jeans out because even though it's heavy-duty, it's too thick to sew through. It's going to cause you an issue. So this line here, I'm using chalk, just regular chalk, school kids chalk. See, this is the middle. So this is the inside of the pants. So this is the line here. That's my middle mark. And I'm going to take this measuring tape. You can go out further, but I went from here to here. I'm going to go about 2 inches. This is my 2-inch line from here to here, and 2 inches from here to here approximately. You can go further out. But from here to here on both sides and from here to here, I'm going to take this single edge razor blade and I'm going to cut this open from here to here. And I'm going to cut it open on this side from here to here. Again, to thin out the denim to make it easier to sew even on this heavy duty sewing machine. Now remember, you're going to want to use a single edge razor blade. Do not use a double edge razor blade. You don't want to cut yourself. You can also use a bona fide seam ripper that you can buy out of the fabric section, or even one of those single edge cutter things like people use for construction work. But I prefer these single edge razor blades. I get them from the Dollar Tree. You get many in a pack. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is take this and see how I opened up the seam. Remember my 2 points? And this does not have to be exact, but I opened it up from here to here because this is where I'm going to make my dart in a minute. And see, on this side, I opened it up from here to here with this, see, and from here to here. Okay, guys, now remember we took the razor blade and we opened this seam up, right? Now you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut because you have to thin this out. So now, and remember, whatever you cut, it don't have to be perfect. See, I'm going to cut this to thin this out so that when I sew, I don't have to sew through so much denim. See, I'm thinning it out. But that seam is still left intact. See, you don't see it on the opposite side. You don't want to cut both seams. See how I'm doing this? Now I'm going to go to this side. So I'm thinning this out, but I don't cut through both layers of denim. Do not. You really won't mess the pants up if you cut through both layers, as long as when you make the dart. But anyway, I don't want to confuse you. So I've thinned this out on both sides. Now see how I turn this over? I didn't cut through in this seam. I'll show you in a minute how to tack this down. Okay, now I'm getting ready to make a dart because remember, we're taking these jeans up in the waist. Now see how this is a little bit unstable here? See, even though I didn't cut through it, one way you can do is get on the machine and sew this down so that it's connected. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold on this line. Now remember, guys, it does not have to be perfect, but I have to hold this in place so as I sew, this doesn't come loose. So remember that line? So now at this point, I get on the sewing machine and I'm making my dart because I'm taking these jeans up in the waist. So I'm going to, put the pressure foot down and then I sew. And then I'm going to go backwards to reinforce the seam. I go here. Then I'm going to keep going. Now, when I get to I'm going to really, really reinforce this seam. You want to reinforce that seam so that it doesn't come loose. Keep going backwards. Now that's one side. Now, I really reinforce the seam at the tip. You can go through this whole seam again, and then naturally, I'm going to cut off the excess thread. Now, let's go to the other side. Now, let me show you what it looks like on the outside. See how this seam is intact? See, I'm using white thread so that you can actually see what I've done. Now, that's one side. We're going to go to the other side. So let's take get this thread. I like to have long threads so that as you put the needle down, the thread doesn't jerk back and pull out of the needle. So let's go to the opposite side. Remember, I made my vertical line. So we're going to fold these jeans. We're going to go on that vertical line because I use chalk. Now we're going to put this down again. And now let me show you how I'm going to really go. You guys do a lot of reverse so that you can really reinforce this stitch. And I'm holding this in place so that all of this doesn't come loose. So see how I go in reverse? See, really reinforce that stitch. Now I'm going to keep going down. See, now go back. See, yeah, keep going back so that it doesn't come loose. Now you can always go back and go back some more. But if you guys can see, here, you see all that stitching? That's to reinforce it. See all the extra stitching here? See there? See that? That's to reinforce it. And then you're going to cut your seams. I'm going to show you in a moment. Let's turn this to the correct side of the jeans. Now, see? Now we've got a tighter waist. See that? Those are called darts. You got them on both sides. Now, Normally what I would do, you guys, but this is here. Normally, this is my favorite way to take up jeans, but we have this. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys. I would just basically take these two, put them together, and make a line. But I don't want to confuse you. But basically what I did, let's start over. Let's go over it again. Down the middle of the jeans. This is the inside, of course. I use this as a reference. I went over about 2 inches on both sides. It doesn't have to be perfect from the middle of the jeans. I just used 2 inches to avoid this deal here. Now, sometimes I've actually taken this off, but anyway, so that's the gist of it. The gist of it is, you guys, you have to take a razor blade or some type of a seam ripper or a box cutter. You have to thin the denim out because, again, even with this Singer or any heavy duty sewing machine, you're going to have issues. The denim is just too thick. So let me show you guys. That's the finished product. Now you have a smaller waistline in the form of a dart. I use white thread to show you guys, but normally I would use, of course, black thread, because see, when I turn this over, you see how that's pulling, which means I'm going to go back on the machine and reinforce that. See how you see that? But if I were to use black thread, or you want the thread to match the same color as, you know, the color denim that you're taking up, you won't have that issue. But that's your finished product, and you just cut off your little strings. But remember, you guys, this at the tip. So I'm gonna go back, girl. You got to work on that tip, girlfriend. You know what I'm talking about. So I'm being naughty. Let's go back. Now, what I do is, before I put down the pressure foot, I pull. I have a lot of thread because when I put this needle down, I don't want it to slip out. So let's go back. We're gonna reinforce at the very tip of the jean. So here we go. Here we go. Okay, now let's reverse. See how it's reversed? You want that tight so that these don't come loose. Yeah. You guys, this machine, this Singer Heavy Duty, they sell it at Walmart, and it's worth the money. But it does have its limitations. It's better. It is heavy duty. Now, whenever you do something, you're sewing something heavy like denim, you're gonna want to use a size 16 needle or a size 18 needle. It has to be a thick, heavy duty needle. So, see, that's a bit better. But again, you guys, if I were to use black thread, the same color as these jeans, you wouldn't see that. But anyway, it's reinforced so that these seams should not come loose. So there you have it. You thinned it out. You made your darts. See your darts? See, it's go smaller here. Now, to adequately fit these pants, you're going to have to try them on so you can see about how much of a dart you want to make. In other words, what if I wanted to make the dart? They were huge on the person, and I wanted to make the seams way over here. So you have to try the jeans on first to even see what the width that you're going to make this dart so that they fit better. But that's it. I thinned it out, and see how that seam is, you guys. You guys, if you thin this out like I told you to, even on a regular sewing machine, you can do this. You can take up denim to make it fit your waist. But remember, no matter the machine that you use, period, you have to have a size 16 needle or an 18 needle, because it's going to accommodate thick, heavy denim. All right, that's it. Take care. Go out there and make something wonderful. And remember, whenever you make a mistake, it's a blessing. Embrace your mistakes because they end up being your best work. All right, thank you. My son said hurry.